Friends, make sure you do stay through to the very end of the video to see if you are making this number one weight loss mistake that most people are making. You're gonna uncover the most common weight loss mistakes that most people are making. And as a registered dietitian, I am gonna give you those easy tips and tricks, practical advice on how you should avoid it. Number one, there's an overemphasis on fad diets, and many of you are prescribing to fad diets. The issue with these fad diets is they are so super restrictive, whether it's in terms of calories or food groups, but they end up being not sustainable. So you may get that quick fix you're looking for short-term weight loss. However, most individuals cannot maintain fad diets for the long term, hence why they are fads. It can be very easy to fall for their marketing schemes. They're very appealing. They're very sexy. They promise you everything that you hope to achieve. But in the long run, you have to actually make sustainable changes in your life, your individualized life that is so super unique, that you can sustain for life. Otherwise, you are going to continue to yo-yo up and down. And quite honestly, you may end up gaining more weight than where you started off with. My tip for you is simply to quit focusing on fad diets, quit focusing on what Susie and Johnny are doing as their quick fix every new year, and focus on you. Look at your lifestyle. Find those areas, number one, that you're willing to change. Number two, make sure you are confident in making that action happen in effort to make those changes. You have to be aware of what those changes need to be, and you have to be ready to take action. Focus on yourself, quit focusing on all the other fad diets. Number two, ignoring portion sizes. So many of us commonly underestimate our food intake. I have worked with so many clients as a registered dietitian where you honestly just don't think you're eating as much as you're eating. I've done the same thing. As soon as I start backtracking, I get an awareness once again for my portion sizes and how much I'm truly consuming. Not all of us carry around a scale to measure our food. That is understandable, but having a scale or access to a scale just to better learn and educate yourself on what a portion size looks like can be so very helpful in your weight loss efforts. Also, taking the opportunity to look at ingredient labels and understand what the recommended serving sizes are. That doesn't necessarily mean you only have to eat a half a cup of cereal for breakfast, but take an awareness of what that serving size entails in terms of nutritionals, weigh it out, take a look at what that looks like, and then maybe measure out what you would normally eat for a bowl of cereal. Oftentimes we eat 2 to 3 times the recommended serving size. That's not inherently bad, but you need to have an awareness for what your portion sizes are throughout the entire day. Lastly, a good reminder with portion sizes too is just remember, because you're eating healthier food or you're someone that always eats healthy food, does not mean you can't overconsume healthy food. At the end of the day, if you are overconsuming calories, you're overconsuming calories. You're likely not going to be losing weight. I hear it time and time again. For instance, if someone loves almonds, well, I'm eating almonds, so they're healthy, right? With those almonds, they are a higher calorie food item. Are they healthy? Absolutely. They have protein, they have fiber, they have heart healthy fats. I definitely want you to eat those, but you do have to take an awareness of what an actual portion size of nuts looks like. It's actually rather small, so it can be helpful to better understand those portion sizes and measure them out, and not just think that eating healthy foods means you can eat endless amounts. So become better educated and better aware for what portion sizes you are in fact consuming. Something I fall victim to time is an excessive consumption of processed foods. Processed foods are so accessible in today's world, and many of us are so busy that we don't even take a minute to stop what we're doing to go to the bathroom. I'm sure you can relate. We are very busy, so it becomes that much easier to just grab quick to go, convenient processed foods. I am using the term processed foods fairly loosely because technically a bag of baby carrots is a processed food. Because it's processed, it's broken down, it's put into a bag, it's packaged for you. So there are tons of processed foods, quote unquote, that are fairly healthy for you. What I want you to focus on is the consumption of those processed foods that are higher in sugar, higher in sodium, higher in fat, and lack any nutritional quality. Oftentimes when you're grabbing foods like that, the super processed foods, maybe they taste really great at the moment, but due to that lack of nutrition content, you're often less satisfied either immediately afterwards or throughout the rest of the day, you can find yourself feeling hungrier and hungrier due to the lack of nutrition with those quick fix foods. In addition to that, the more processed foods you eat, because you're not as satisfied, you are just putting yourself at risk for overeating. The best way to mitigate this is going to be to have some kind of plan. Life gets busy when we least expect it. So don't be so oblivious that that could happen to you or even myself. We need to be prepared with ready to eat foods, increase the amount of convenience within our whole foods. Have whole, healthy foods ready and available. Make them convenient for you. Cut up those veggies, cut up those fruits, have your protein cooked and ready to go so that you are equipped to put together healthy meals in a jiffy. Number 4, neglecting your macronutrient balance. It is okay to use calories as a measurement and a focus if you are trying to lose weight or maintain or even gain weight. However, if you are someone trying to lose weight and you are neglecting that ratio of what you're consuming of carbs, proteins, and fats, and let's not neglect alcohol, because alcohol is another nutrient that can come in through the diet. Neglecting those ratios and what you're consuming could very much be the exact thing that's causing you to not lose weight. Oftentimes I see clients who are not consuming enough protein. There's a lot of research that supports high protein diets and how they are effective with helping us to lose weight. And honestly, they have so many different functions within the body, in addition to making us feel full for longer, which is so critical when it comes to losing weight, especially because in effort to lose weight, you have to get into a caloric deficit. So failing to pay attention to your macronutrient distribution is definitely going to set you up for failure. In addition, your body composition, it makes a difference in terms of what macronutrients you're consuming. So even if your calories are the same day to day, that macronutrient distribution is going to make or break the difference of how your body composition responds in terms of muscle, fat, and how you look and feel overall. How do you better pay attention to your macronutrient balance? Honestly, just taking a couple weeks to track your food intake in some type of food tracker. I personally use MyFitnessPal, and that breaks it all down for you with different ratios, how many grams you're consuming. You can even enter in your set goals based on what your weight loss goals are, and it can tell you how you are doing. That can be very telling, and it doesn't mean you have to track your food for the rest of your life, but doing that for a couple weeks here and there is going to give you better information as to what you're actually consuming and what those ratios look like. If you are someone that was nodding, yes, that is me. I am not good with consuming protein. I definitely have separate videos. In addition, I just put a really good reel up on my Instagram for some quick to go protein options that you can incorporate into your diet if that is an area you're struggling with. Number 5, are you someone who is skipping meals or constantly restricting particular food groups? Life gets very busy, but with skipping meals, you are setting yourself up for failure. It can be very easy to ignore your hunger cues. You're going through a busy workday, but skipping meals tends to, 9 out of 10 of us, it catches up with us. By the end of the day, you don't realize how hungry you are because you have just pushed away all those internal cues. You don't even know when you're hungry or full anymore. You go to eat dinner and it's game on. You can consume more calories than you need an entire day in one sitting. So don't think you can't just because you're restricting all day long. This is a method that always sets people up for failure. You just end up spinning your wheels and you never end up losing any weight following this method. Eliminating food groups in addition to this is just something that's often not necessary for the general population. I am not speaking to those of you who have food allergies, intolerances, sensitivities, or other medical conditions that do require you to restrict or omit certain things in your diets. Those are not the people I'm talking to. The average person that wants to lose weight, you don't have to completely remove carbs out of your diet. You don't have to remove fruit out of your diet. You don't have to remove milk out of your diet. These are not things you have to do in effort to lose weight. And when individuals do that, you tend to feel that restriction. You all of a sudden pay attention to all those luxury items that are now forbidden and they are bad in your eyes that you can no longer have. That sets you up to want to do the bad deed and go eat those bad foods, even though they're not bad. You've just set yourself up to be so strict that you often can't adhere to it, and it causes you to feel even more restricted. With skipping meals, removing food groups, you can also just disrupt your metabolism and impact your hormones with not having that normal intake of food. Understandably, day to day can vary. I would recommend for you to, instead of focusing on trying to fast as long as you can or trying to avoid as many foods as you can, to focus more on setting yourself up for a consistent schedule of eating. That's going to let your body know that you're feeding it on the regular versus this up and down. Sometimes I'm getting food, sometimes I'm not. Sometimes I'm eating very little carbs, sometimes I'm not. Try focusing instead on a consistent meal timing schedule. It's not going to be perfect. Things happen for sure. But set yourself up with a plan to get in some consistent nutrition, and that's probably going to set you up for better success, to feel more satisfied, to feel more energized, and then by the end of the day, you are not mindlessly snacking. You're satisfied, you simply go to bed. Following a consistent schedule is probably going to have you feeling more full and satisfied, even in a caloric deficit. Don't get me wrong, consistency can be tough, but I would focus your efforts there versus on restricting. Number 6, a lack of mindful eating. This is such a tough one that most of us just kind of don't have time to do. I don't have time to sit there and think about why I'm eating right now. I just want to eat. Well, that is the problem, my friend. We're so often eating for other reasons beyond hunger. There's different reasons that we eat food. There's emotional reasons, such as if you're sad, if you're angry, if you're frustrated. Even if we're happy, we eat, right? We celebrate. It's sometimes just what we do. And it's okay to do that on occasion from time to time. But if every single day you are just going through and using food as your coping mechanism, that is a huge issue that is going to need to be addressed if you're ever going to lose weight. It's hard to mindfully eat in 2023. We're so busy. We are on social media. We are watching TV. Maybe you're also trying to take care of your kids while you're just cramming in the next meal. There's a lot going on that takes away from our ability to focus in on our hunger cues. And in addition, slowing down when you eat your food. I can't say this enough. How quickly are you cramming in that meal? Are you truly slowing down? Are you allowing yourself time to enjoy each bite? Are you already getting in the next bite when you haven't finished the previous swallow? Are you also focusing on how long it takes you to eat that entire meal? And have you given yourself enough time for your body's hormone signals to even tell you if you're full or satisfied? Have you ever experienced that, where you eat a meal and you want to keep eating, but you ate so fast you're not even sure if you're full, if you're good, if you're not? You just move so quickly in life. I understand it. But in terms of nutrition, if you just take a moment to slow down and check in with yourself, enjoy your meal a bit more, it'll not only increase your meal satisfaction, but you'll find you'll actually eat less doing so. Number 7, inadequate hydration. Many of us are not drinking enough, in particular, drinking water, my friend. Confusing our thirst with hunger is so common, and it's something so simple that many of us know this, yet we forget to slow down and take the time to ask ourselves, did I drink enough water today? So I want you to take a moment the next time you're going to go to eat. And number 1, ask yourself, am I hungry right now? What am I actually feeling? What is dictating me to consume another meal right now? Check in with yourself, and maybe you really didn't eat that long ago. Maybe you ate a lot of food and you're not sure why you're so hungry or feeling that bottomless pit syndrome. It could just be that you simply have not drank enough water. Water is what fuels so many of our body's internal actions and mechanisms. It's a requirement for so much of what we need that we have going on inside of here to function properly and feel good. So simple things you can do to increase your water intake is just carrying a water bottle with you all day long. If you're like me, you're girly, get yourself a cute water bottle, get yourself a tumbler, a Stanley mug, I don't care. Do something that helps you to carry water with you at all times if you're on the go, and make sure you are drinking it throughout the day, and check in with yourself in terms of how much you've drank. Simple tip for me now that I'm working from home, I have a 24-ounce mason jar here. I really love drinking water when it's all icy cold and fresh. So I fill it up and I make sure I get 4 of these of plain water a day. Minimum. That is my non-negotiable, and I also start my day with water before I start sipping coffee or having anything like that. You have to just put it into your routine and make it part of your to-do, just the way you would put on clothes, take a shower, drive to work. Number 8 is inconsistent or ineffective workout routines. Some of you maybe aren't working out at all. Maybe that's your starting point. Some of you are maybe working out and not focusing on your diet whatsoever, thinking you can just out-train your diet. There is no such thing as out-training a diet. You can certainly train harder, bump up the intensity so that you are having more of a caloric output in the gym. Some of you make the mistake, however, to work out really hard, and then maybe that's linked to MyFitnessPal, which gives you more calories, and you eat more calories to make up for it. So we do sometimes get hungrier with harder workouts. I know in particular heavy leg days, heavy bodybuilding style training days, or endurance activities, you're going to be hungrier. Your metabolic rate is going to be increased after that workout for a longer period of time. So valid in feeling hungrier. But if every time you work out because of that, you're eating way more calories, you're not going to be in a deficit. You're not going to lose weight. So it's about finding that deficit and that sweet spot for working out efficiently, intensely enough, but not eating all your calories to make up for it, unless weight maintenance is truly your goal. I want to mention too, with working out, we often overestimate how many calories we actually burn doing things. Do not pay attention to the treadmills, the ellipticals that tell you you've burned maybe 300 calories in 30 minutes. You likely have not. Those are often very, very off. They way overestimate how many calories you actually burn. I recommend not paying attention to your calorie burn in the gym. That's just my recommendation to you. Unless you're an elite athlete and truly need to very closely monitor that stuff, quit paying attention to how many calories you're possibly burning at the gym. Instead, focus on your workouts, focusing on having good, consistent, effective workouts, and focus more, if you want to focus on numbers, on the actual macronutrients and calories that you're consuming. And the number one weight loss mistake I see so many people doing, still do to this day, is not consuming enough calories. You are going way too strict and off the deep end with your diet protocols. Yes, a caloric restriction is necessary to lose weight. However, when you are going from where you're currently at to just deep diving into such an excessive calorie restriction, you're never going to be able to maintain that. You can't maintain that for the long term, being that low on calories, nor do you need to go that extreme from the jump. Slow, sustainable steps is the way. In addition to going that low in calories, you're likely risking a nutrient deficiency because there's probably no way you can get in enough vitamins, minerals, all the nutrition you truly need to support a weight loss program and to feel healthy. You should not just band-aid everything with a supplement. You should always be trying to get in as much as you can through food. On top of that, going so low calorie, your body is going to adjust to that. You are going to see hormonal changes that are going to impact your metabolism negatively. And not only in that period of dieting, but likely for the long term, because when you cannot sustain this, because you won't be able to, it is going to make it that much harder for you the next time you go to lose weight. My advice to you, as it always is to take a look at what you're doing in your diet. And instead of thinking about removing, think about the things you can add in. Are you eating enough whole foods? Add more in. Are you eating enough fiber? Add more in. Are you eating enough fruits and veggies? Add more in. Are you getting enough balance and variety in your diet? Are you getting enough protein in your breakfast? Take a look at the things that you can add before you start removing everything away. I promise you that is going to be your number one key to setting you up for a successful weight loss program. We talked a lot today about the most common mistakes folks are making when it comes to losing weight. And I want to re-emphasize the fact that sustainable changes, making actual lifestyle changes, implementing healthy eating, eating more whole foods, more balanced, getting in a good workout routine that works for your lifestyle is going to be the way to staying successful with your weight loss efforts. If you found today's video helpful, make sure you are subscribed to the channel because I am going to be here to do a lot more content for you within this driven series, assisting you with busting any myths that comes with trying to lose weight and giving you all the necessary tools that you need to set yourself up for a successful weight loss program. And I can't say it enough here on this channel. I appreciate you all more than you realize for every time you watch these videos, for supporting me in my efforts as a registered dietitian, now working for myself. It really does mean the world to me when you comment, subscribe, and like these videos. That is going to wrap up today's video. I hope you found it helpful. Be sure to comment down below if any of these really hit home with you for what has been holding you back with your weight loss efforts. And until next time, friends, stay driven.